Well, hello.
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. Happy New Year, everybody.
That's right. Happy 2026.
Happy New Year. Kai, yo, what's up? We've got a bunch of, I think that's Dylan. Happy Friday, everyone. And then the other, John Brown, yo, what's up?
Nice.
Thanks,
up,
man.
dude?
He says it sounds good.
Nice.
Appreciate it. Thanks for hopping in, dude. And I got a yo. Oh, I got to turn my computer volume down before I start feeding back because I'm stupid and I didn't do that first. Yo, Anthony, what's up, dude? Happy New Year's. Medina's dropping in.
What's up, everyone?
Happy New Year. And Gianluca, question mark? I think is who that is. I don't know. GMAC, yo. If you're not Gianluca, yo, anyway. I have a hard time. You know, for someone who grew up a gamer and was used to gamer tags and all of that kind of stuff, I have a really hard time keeping track of everyone's, like, you know, monikers, aliases, usernames. Yeah. So I apologize in advance. Watching this is making me so ready to get my order in right now. Oh, you must be, I don't want to dox you, but I know who you are. By the way, shout out to a fellow Louisiana boy. I don't remember if I told you that in our email correspondences. I'm from Lafayette originally.
Nice.
So good shout. I don't get to see a Fondo very often. So when I saw your name, I was like, yo, my boy knows. So good shout. And yeah, your build is sick and it's going to be killer. John Brown says that V looks lethal. Yeah, this is my this is my number one. Right. Honestly, it's become my number one for everything, just because it's 25.5-inch scale. It's got our Fissionbucker pickups in it. It's got an original Floyd that I upgraded with like the noiseless springs and the big block and 16-inch radius saddles and all that stuff. It absolutely rips. It's a blast to play. And I've got the Floyd for the Widdly Wheeze.
That's right.
So, yeah, good shout. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It is very cool. I have another guitar in the queue that some people may have seen me post about in the Facebook discussion group, which is I'm hoping going to be the rhythm counterpart to this being my, like, number one sort of lead fast guitar.
For sure.
And then I've got a bunch of other really cool stuff. But at least for, like, metal, this has been my number one for a couple of years now. So good shout. Thank you. It's not doxing. Awesome. That's where I graduated from. Oh, sweet. Yeah, Raging Cajuns, baby. That's rad. I may spark something between us, but I did go to LSU, so go Tigers. But being from Lafayette, you know, most of my friends went to UL. Love it. Great school. Great, you know, being from Lafayette, I'm obviously partial, but yeah, good to hear from you, dude. And your build is sick. So,
yep.
New year, new us.
That's right.
And by new, I mean older. Because we're exactly the same as we were a month ago.
Yep.
But we have all sorts of cool stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that we've released that I'm sure you guys have seen. Mm-hmm. We might talk about some things that we haven't released. We're going to talk about, or that we'll be releasing soon. We're talking about the NAMM show.
Very soon.
Coming up, NAMM show in January.
Yes. Which
is super sick. The things that we're going to be releasing in the NAMM show coming up may be correlated. We'll get into that later. We're going to talk a bit about the tones that we're using in today's live stream because it's kind of a cool setup. And we have a new amp in the shop that we'll talk more about in a bit. Because anyone who's been around Balaguer long enough or has seen the live streams or has hung out with Joe or I in any context knows that we're absolute whores for German amps. They are, you know, it's just a special sound, and whether it's the Wagners or the Dietzels or the Engels, like, and anything else, even like lately it's been the Lichtlärm stuff and the Driftwood, you know, all of that stuff is so sick, and it just it carries a lineage of really sick sounding amps. So we're gonna talk about that too. But in the meantime, we're gonna start with, like we said, Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone had good holidays. You know, if you celebrated anything, we hope you had a great time. If you didn't, you were just chilling. That's also sick. We hope you had a good time. If you did hang with friends or family, that's great. If you wanted to be a hermit, that's also great. I did a little bit of both, if I'm honest. So super sick. What did you do for the holiday, Joe?
Staycation. Just spent time with family, and relaxed and stayed warm because it's very, very cold here in Pennsylvania. It still is. And
it's freezing right now. Like literally.
It is. Yeah. It's very
20
cold
degrees outside. And the wind chill is like 5. It's very, very cold right now.
Very much looking forward to the California weather next week.
Yes, we will be leaving for NAMM next week. And it will be nice. OG Hyperion. We got a shout out from Nothing to Fear. It says OG Hyperion.
Yeah. This is one of the original production guitars that Fluff, Ryan Bruce, shout out, used to own. He still has quite a few of them still, but this was the first Silverburst one, and he sent it back to me as a keepsake. And it's my main guitar. It has our Dualis, like brand new humbucker model, if you're unaware, the Dualis humbucker set. And it's my go-to.
Yeah, it's that's one that, you know, we try to demystify the mysteries around guitar often, because while we get to play so many guitars, which is super sick, there's still a lot of like BS flying around. One of the things that is not BS is some guitars, whether it's the luck of the draw with that exact blank of wood, or, you know, the care taken in assembling it. Holy crap. Assembling it. Oh my God. I apologize in advance if I sound funky or if I need to blow my nose.
It's Friday.
As I said, the weather's nuts and the freaking allergies are getting to me, but apparently it's also getting to my brain. When the guitar is assembled, you know, the combination of care and knowledge with the quality of the materials and then a little bit of luck can generate something special. That guitar is something special. It's one that no matter what we put in it, it's had ferrules in it, it's had bare knuckles in it, it's had all sorts of stuff in it, and it all sounds good. And it's the kind of guitar that, not just for sentimental value, shout out again to Fluff, but for the other stuff, it's just a sick guitar. It sounds so good.
It's also been played a ton. I mean, it's kind of a hodgepodge of parts. Like, it has you probably can't see it at home through your computers or whatever, but
through the digital world,
it's got a nickel stop tailpiece and a chrome pneumatic bridge, because I don't care. But and it's got some road rash on the back of the guitar just from playing it so much.
No, it's a sick piece.
It feels worn in, so it's special. Yeah,
it sounds super good. So good shout out, because it is an OG Hyperion from back in the day. Yeah. Sup, boys? Kenny Blum, the man, the myth, the legend. Thanks for dropping in, dude.
What's up, dude?
Man? Might be dropping in tonight. Sorry, I'm driving. Please don't look at this while you're driving. Yeah. You can listen. Don't look.
Just listen.
Let's see. Tyler says my biggest debate was going evergreen or P90. Yeah, that's it's always a trip, because you have that bit of like, you know, that's the crossover, right? Mm-hmm. The evergreen is our lowest output humbucker. Our backwoods P90s are actually higher output than the evergreen, but because they're P90s, they have that extra clarity. Yeah. So it's like this little transitionary period. It's a very cool thing to compare. And of course, we do make our P90s in humbucker sized enclosures. Yeah. So if you wanted to try them, you could. Yep. We could get you a set of each and you could swap and see what you like better. We're both nerds for swapping pickups, so it's something we've done in a bunch of our guitars. I mean, I think this guitar has had 4 different sets of pickups in it, just like that one. But yeah, could be a fun thing to experiment with, but it's always cool. Kai says, I'm just about to drop an Evergreen set in my PRS CE24
That's awesome.
and then ever tune it. Super stoked. That's
Nice.
sick. The
That's awesome.
Evergreen set is special. And yes, that'll be sick. I think I've seen a couple of comments about your CE, and I always really liked them. You know, I think they kind of, before the SE existed, or maybe right around the time that it became a thing, I think the CE got slagged just because it was less expensive.
Because it was bolt-on, right?
It was bolt-on, yeah. But man, they sound great, they look great, they feel great. I never saw the reason for any of that, and I always think they sound sick. So that's going to be bitching, and I can't wait to see it. Anthony says, my pockets can't handle anything new right now, so y'all need to chill out.
Wait till next week.
We refuse. Wait until next week.
Yeah.
Kai says Engel is king.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that in a second. And yes, the other John Brown, you are correct. That is an Engel SEFE.
Yes. Special
edition, Founders Edition.
There you go.
.com, .gov.org. It's a long name, but I'll tell you what, it is. I think I'm safe to say it's the best sounding Engel I've ever played.
Oh, hands down for me, for sure, yeah.
And one of the best sounding German amps I've ever played. It's a really, really, and you'll hear it.
Super versatile too.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad segue. Maybe we'll take that segue to talk about how we're rigged up today. So Joe is playing. Well, I'll let you tell him what you're playing through because it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm plugging directly into the amp behind me, the Engel Special Edition Founders Edition, and that is going through a Mesa Boogie IR Plus load box, and it has a Mesa 4x12 IR on that tone before it reaches you.
Yeah, the 4x12 oversize.
Yep, and I am on lead 1 of the Engel, and
Channel 3, basically.
Yeah, and actually the oh, you know what? That's an old photo. We can also share the settings if anyone is interested later.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because Jake dialed in a really nasty tone. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Special Edition Founders Edition is, I guess, the latest iteration of the Special Edition amplifier from Engel, because they made the Special Edition amp for a long time and then they discontinued it and they brought it back with this version, and they're calling it the Founders Edition. From what I understand is because the founder of Engel really spent a ton of time designing this latest iteration with the lead designers at Engel to make something that's kind of the end all be all for tube amps. I think it was similar wording that they've used in their marketing. And yeah, it really does have pretty much every tone you could think of in it.
Yeah.
And very, very grateful to have it here in the showroom. I mean, we sent them a guitar and they sent us an amp, and that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah. No, it was a cool deal. And it wasn't like anything wild. They were just like, hey, we dig the guitars. And we were like, yes, please. Like, what can we do to make this work? We love you guys. And, we've had in the shop, we had an Invader 100. We had a Powerball, right? Powerball was the other one that we had.
No, we had a Savage 120.
Or Savage 120.
And we had an Invader 100.
Yeah, that Invader was like intense, like just a very dry, like aggressive sound.
Very compressed.
I actually still have a capture of it because I like it. The Savage I didn't like quite as much as the Invader, but this I think trumps them both for sure. This is it's got like the body of, and I'm gonna maybe dive a bit into the German amp tone thing here. So if anyone has questions about the stuff as we go, just hit us, because we're just gonna kind of jump off the deep end into the deep end here. But to me, this amp specifically, I feel like Engel has always existed kind of in between Dietzel and Balaguer, where Balaguer was more of that like Marshall-y thing, and Dietzel was more of like the super fat take on a Marshall, like real thick, low end, heavy sound. And then Engel was in the middle. It had the crunch of like a Balaguer, but it had that like low end dryness of like a Dietzel. This to me does a great job of like greatest hitsing that sound, where I feel like the thing that makes this amp shine is the tone you really want, which is the tone that Joe's playing, which we'll crank up in a second, is like just as good as any other tone you ever heard in your life. It's freaking amazing. But the clean also rules, the crunch also rules, and the lead tone also rules.
Yeah.
So it's like you really do get, in my opinion, the most versatile of the German amps. Because to me,
Sure.
like a VH4 or a Hagen, both of which we've had, are great amps, but some sounds are less usable than others, in my opinion. I'm not putting words in Joe's mouth or anyone else's. Love those amps, but they don't have the versatility in the same way, in my opinion. Similarly, if you look at like a Balaguer Ecstasy, which we've also had, they sound amazing when you dial them in, but it's very hard to get like true versatility because you always have that like ecstasy sound. This, to me, when you change channels, actually sounds like you're doing something different with every channel, which is like kind of wild.
Yeah, I think it's probably the most usable German like boutique quote unquote amplifier I've ever used or experienced. It just has like this the sweep that the knobs have and the intuitive nature of the tones just make it easier to dial in, where I feel like the barrier to entry for amps like Dietzel and even Bogner, some of the earlier Uberschalls specifically, like the Rev Blue,
which we will hear in a second. Spoiler alert.
Some of the knobs don't react how you would normally expect them to, which to someone coming from like owning Marshalls or owning any other more accessible amp here in the States, there's a bit of a learning curve there where like the angle, I feel like it was pretty quick for us to pick up a really great tone on all of the channels, like Jake said. So it's great. And I'll play a little bit.
Yeah, riff a little bit. Let's hear it. By the way, quickly, I'm not just being a dick when I do that while Joe's talking. If we don't make noise every now and then, our powered wedge will shut off. Yeah. So there is a purpose there.
The wedge is trying to escape and we're not letting it.
All right, let's hear it. If that sounds half as good through the analog or the digital internet as it does in the room, we're using like a crappy. I mean, it's not crappy, but it's a a powered wedge that's taking this direct out load box signal.
Little JBL.
Yeah, when we play it through the 412s, it's such an insane sound, and I hope it comes through because it sounds so good, and it really does just embody a lot of what we love about the German amp sound. What we will hear, and what's something fun that we did was I captured that exact tone. So I'll play that in a second and you can hear that. Now, to be fair, the IR I'm using is not the Mesa oversized IR. It's the Mesa standard traditional IR built into the QC. We both have a 57-121 setup on it. So the mics are the same, although the placement might be different depending on how they did the IRs. But just a heads up. And I may as well just riff on that so we can hear it. So you can immediately hear how much more mid-focus there is using a traditional cab instead of the oversized cab.
Yeah.
The oversized cab is much more scooped. But still, it has that like focus that just makes that amp sound super good. But it's kind of cool because you can hear it in two different contexts. I've also got a Rev Blue Uberschall, a Dietzel Herbert Mark III, and a Bogner Uber Ultra on here. So we'll run through those sounds in a second.
All captures that we made here.
Yeah, all captures that we made of amps that we owned, that we had here doing that stuff with. and it's always, they've just always been super sick.
Yep.
Hit a couple questions. Tyler says, how does the Evergreen compare to a Les Paul humbucker? I felt maybe the LP was a tad hot, so I went Evergreen. Yeah, I mean, Joe knows more about it, but he can tell you about the influence and sort of what that pickup is.
Yeah, the Evergreen, I mean, it depends on what Gibson humbucker you're talking about, because there's a lot. But if you're talking about like the Burstbucker Pro or like any of the hot rodded humbuckers that Gibson has used over the years, it is not like those. It is way more in line with
like a Burstbucker 1 or 2.
Kind of like a Shawbucker, like from back in the 80s during the Norlin era of the Les Paul Customs.
Yes.
There was a gentleman named Tim Shaw who did a lot of the pickup design, and a lot of people covet those humbuckers and those guitars. And they may have not sounded the same back then because magnets degauss over time and blah, blah, blah.
Physics.
But like,
the more you know.
There's something special up with, which is like the lower output resistance without an Eco 5 magnet and the gauge of wire and things like that. So the Evergreen was modeled off of that style of humbucker, because that's just what I enjoy when I think about that style of guitar or that genre of music that a lot of people played back then on those guitars. So
to my ear, the Evergreen sounds like right as Gibson is pushing into the like rock sound, like they're sort of starting to tweak up the PAFs like in the 70s. That's what that sound reminds me of. It's clear like an Alnico 5, but it's still got low end and a lot of body like an Alnico 2. It's just a good balanced humbucker. It's very, very nice sounding.
It's 9K resistance, but the whines per coil is kind of where it makes it a little more unique. If anyone's curious, like that's why that pickup sounds different compared to other humbuckers that may be in the same resistance range.
But they're sick. And for anyone who doesn't know, you can order sets of pickups from us, individual pickup sets. We can do custom covers and stuff like that. When I say custom, I mean like within the realm of what we do. You can order, for example, our Fission Bucker comes standard with the 12-pole rails. But if you don't want that, you can order them with the plain flat cover or no poles or black poles or whatever.
Foil covers.
Or foil covers.
Whatever you want, really.
We can do stuff like that with most of our models. So if you ever do want any pickups, you can always hit us up, info@BalaguerGuitars.com. We also have a section for them on the website.
That's right.
So check it out. CE24 is the Goldilocks PRS, the other John Brown says. Yeah, I think so. Anthony says, give us the captures. No! Just kidding. We do have Balaguer Guitars is a Cortex Cloud account, and we do upload a lot of the captures that we make. So check them out. We
have something in the works too after NAMM. So
what he said.
Look out for that.
Yeah, so that'll be something fun that we'll post more about in the future too. Brandon Briganti, sorry. I saw Hola Hombres and I was thinking Hombre and I was like, Brigante.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, what's up, dude? Had an Engel Screamer 50 that was sick, Anthony says. Yeah, they are sick. John Brown says, I struggle imagining a sicker Engel in the Savage Mark II, but John Simmons also claims the SEFE is it. Yeah, I think the Savage we had was the Mark I.
It was the Mark I, but it sounded way more aggressive than the Invader, yet the Invader sounded more
like dry,
produced sounding.
Yeah.
Like it was more modern sounding, where the Savage was more raw and almost like 5150-esque.
Yeah.
Where it had a lot of like top end aggression.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good shout though. And you definitely can't go wrong. I mean, I've never heard an Engel amp that sounds bad. And contrary, this is kind of like this is not meant to be inflammatory, but like I've heard Bogners and Dietzels that I don't like, that I just like don't get along with. I've heard Engels that I like less. I've never heard one that I don't like.
Right.
I think that's, and it's not because they're building them to be like vanilla amps that everyone's going to like. It's just because they sit in a really nice place for my ear, which is cool. Kai says, I love my Powerball, but I'd love a little more extra variance in the high gain tones. Yeah, the Powerball and Fireball amps, it's funny, in like every clip that I hear, I tend to gravitate toward the Fireball because I like that like aggression and crunch
Yeah.
that it has, or the Powerball. You know, more of that. Where like the Invader's very produced, the Savage has more of that like sizzly sort of aggression in a different way, and this is very just nice sounding, still aggressive, but like not in the same way. But I hear this in person, and I'm like, damn. I also come from the, you know, anyone who's been around knows that I'm a JP2C Mesa Mark guy. That is like my holy grail of high gain tones. And I feel like this amp, similar to that amp, allows you to set up multiple tones that really do get you from like pristine clean to high gain to a lead sound that is like mid pushed and super sweet.
Yeah.
There aren't many amps that can do all three of those things in a way that works for me. This is one of them. Very cool.
Plus, beyond the amplifiers that they make, they also release something pretty cool that you may see on one of our guitars next week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Something that's not amplifier related, which is kind of what started our relationship with them. And after getting to know Jurgen and some of the other guys at Engel, I'm excited for what's going to come.
Damn. Couldn't help it.
Yeah,
Couldn't find a different word. No, it's going to come all over at NAMM when we release it. It is super sick. It's I'm actually super stoked to spend some time with it because I have it myself.
Yeah.
But it's going to be super cool. We didn't really get to spend a lot of time with them because they were sent away quickly for a reason you will find out at the NAMM show.
Yes.
Tyler, Engel just released a sub 1K tube amp, I believe. Don't see that too often for higher end amps. That's true.
The Ravager?
Yeah, the Lunchbox.
Yeah, that one's sick.
No, it is sick. It's very sick. And I think I don't know what the manufacturing process is for those, but either way, they sound amazing. Other amps that sort of exist in that same realm are like Victory amps. They're typically a little over $1,000 because they're like UK made, but that sort of like metal enclosure Lunchbox amp, love it. Such a cool setup. I mean, I gigged a Victory forever, the Lunchbox Sheriff, because I thought it was. I still think they're some of the best bang for the buck amps on the planet, in the same way that I think that the Angles are.
And they're also so feature packed at this point. That Ravager, I remember seeing. I don't know if it was John Simmons or if it was someone else demoing it, but the fact that it has like an IR loader in the back, all that kind of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I love our Marshalls, and that's kind of like where my heart is as far as amplifiers. But like the Engel, I feel like they do such a good job, like trying to cater to the people that want the classic tones, but also all the functionality that modern day amplifiers have.
Yeah. I do. I mean, it's certainly horses for courses, right? As soon as you try and decide a best amp, you've already lost, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because they all do something different.
All different flavors.
Lick that ice cream flavor.
That's right.
But it is definitely a journey in tone. Yeah. And it's super sick. I mean, you know, we're lucky to know people who give us great advice, people we get to hang out with, we get to see cool shit, and all of these are super cool, and they all do something different. And if you hang around, you'll hear them all. We've played them all already over the years, but you'll hear more. And they're sick. We love amps. Amps rule. We're gear nerds. So it's always a not problem for us. And by that, I mean it's a problem. We should stop acquiring all the games. Other John Brown says, I love the details. At the same time, they can be a bit quirky. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like, I mean, to me, so I've personally owned a VH4 and a Hagen at this point. And the VH4 was too dark. The Hagen was like brighter, but not in a way that I thought was nice. The Herbert Mark III that you had, because you had a Mark II and a Mark III, right?
So I've had a Diesel Herbert Mark I, a VH2,
and a VHX.
A VHX, a Herbert Mark III.
That's what I should have put.
And what is the smaller one? I'm forgetting the name of it now. It's like a small. Yes, the D-Mall. I had that as well. I had it in a white head shell, which was interesting. But the Mark III Herbert to me is kind of like, that should be like the flagship diesel amp, in my opinion.
For higher gains, though.
The VH4, I get it. Like, it became super popular in the 90s. because of all the bands playing with them.
And they do sound great.
They do sound great for sure, but that's the kind of amp that I feel like, for me at least, it needs a little help in certain areas with pedals and stuff.
Yeah, an EQ or a boost or something.
Mark III Herbert, I can literally plug it in and be like, I'm good.
Yeah, it needs nothing. That amp sounds so damn good.
But yeah,
that was, I think it's interesting that like for me, back to like the difference between the major German amps, like anytime you plugged into a Dietzel, I was like, damn, that sounds good. And then I'd play it and I'd be like, I hate this. Because like to me, it just never felt good to me under the hand. And I don't mean in like a compression way. I mean, it always, how did you say it?
It feels loose, but sounds tight.
It feels loose, but sounds tight. And it's
a weird experience playing those amps.
I love hearing you play them. I never enjoyed playing them myself.
You have to really dig in to like get the feeling of it feeling like a tight amp. But when you hear what you're producing, it sounds tight. It's such a weird, and it must be the sag of tube amps or whatever.
Yeah. And that's a good segue. I've got 4 captures loaded up here. And they're captures, they're not models. Captures of a Rev Blue Uberschall with a like not really a super high gain sound. And then an Uber Ultra, which is one of the best amps I've ever owned. And then a Dietzel Herbert Mark III. And then the Angle. This Angle.
Do you want to do like a back and forth kind of thing?
Yeah, actually, let's do that. So I'll play one, then you play the Angle. And I'll play the other one, then you play the Angle. So we'll jump back and forth. And it is in that order. So it's going to be Uberschall Rev Blue, Uber Ultra, or Uberschall Mark II, Dietzel Herbert, and then Angle SEFE.
Okay.
Tone. So, again, I am playing through a different cab. My IR is different.
That third one, what was that one again?
That's the Dietzel. The Herbert.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's, dude, man, that amp haunts me.
It's wild. It sounds so good. Yeah. And it's crazy. It's a specific sound. It's not like anything else. Anyone, I feel like I've said this a lot today, but anyone who's been around for a while knows that I'm a huge fan of the Driftwood, which I didn't put in here only because we were comparing sort of the more like classic German boutique amps.
Should throw that in there.
But maybe I will before we're out of here, the Driftwood. Yeah. And then something that we don't have captures of, because we haven't played one in person yet outside of Guitar Summit, are the Lichtlerm, the Prometheus, which I know John Brown's a fan of. I know everyone seems to be a fan of it. So I would like to spend some time with one. We just haven't done it yet. Tyler says, to me right now, the most crazy versatile amp is the Rev generator. Crystal clean crunch to face melting gain. Yeah, we're Derek and the team over at Rev. We've known them for a long time. They're super great guys. Their whole team is awesome, and their amps are incredible.
Yeah,
there have been times when I've walked into a room where people are playing multiple amps, and I'm like, "What is that?" And it's the Rev. Like it stands out. It has a very like hi-fi mastered kind of sound, but in a very just nice way. I almost bought a 740 like 10 times because they're one of the best smaller form factor amps that you can buy on the planet. Rev does not mess around. That's a good shout. We've had a couple of them in the shop over the years. Mm-hmm. It's been a minute, but yeah, they're great stuff. Plus anything that Joey Landreth touches, I'm happy to be around. And then also, I can see Sean Tubbs, who's such a sick player. Also a really nice guy. We met him at NAMM when they released his, I forget the name of the amp that he had his fingers in, but just great stuff. Good shout out to Rev. Oh, Mr. John Bleeker says,
"What's up, dude?
NAMM."
That's right. You gonna hang out or
Stuff,
what,
dude? Yeah, I can't wait to see you. We're always looking. That's the best part of NAMM for us is just getting to see everyone that we don't get to see for the rest of the year. So can't wait to see you too, man. Safe travels, and we'll see you soon. Capture that tone and send it to me for the quad. We will. You'll see some of this stuff pop up in the near future. What's the room volume like in there? Tyler says you can get those tones at a reasonable volume. Yeah, we're like not loud enough to play with a drummer right now. That's for sure.
You should get one of those decibel meters, but it's probably it's definitely not band volume in here right now.
No, and that's sort of the cool thing about doing the IR thing, whether that's the Mesa load box or the Captor X over there or the quad, is that like you can take a tone. Like the amp right now, the angle is on like 4 out of 5 on the master volume. When it's plugged into a cab at that volume, it's loud as flip, like way louder than drum volume.
Doesn't this amp also have a IR out?
Unknown.
It's
got a lot of features.
I should have read more about the amp, but I'm pretty sure it has a.
Oh, we'll have to check.
I would be very surprised if it didn't have something like that, especially if their little lunchbox one has it.
Well, everyone at Jurgen and everyone at Engel, please don't be pissed at us for not knowing.
We should know more about the amp.
We should know more. We went through all the front panel settings, but other than the noise gate on the back,
it's very heavy. So as soon as we dial something in, it's like, all right, you're staying there forever.
Yeah, don't touch it. You're never moving.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. And yeah, it is. That's the beauty of that stuff is you can record. You can either capture or signal out a sound with the amp set where the power tubes are cooking, which, speaking of demystifying things, is a real thing. Amps sound different when you turn up the master volume as the power tube saturation feeds into the amp. Some amps do it more than others. You know, some amps are very clean, like Mesas, where as you turn up the master volume, it takes quite a bit of volume, like painful levels in a lot of cases before you start getting that power tube saturation.
Headroom, that's what it is.
Certainly in the Mesas, that's the trade-off, right? But the angle is like you can get it up to 2 or 3 where you're like drummer volume, and it doesn't feel like it's murdering you, which is also just a nice EQ. But yes, it's loud enough in here right now for us to feel good playing, but definitely not loud enough to like play with the drummer.
Yeah.
Which we do, and it would be louder than this. Of course, we'd also be playing through the cabs because they sound sick. I lost my place. I'm so sorry. Jesse, can you bring that Engel to NAMM? Jesse would like to.
Hey, dude, if you carry it, I'm good with
Jesse
that.
is definitely the strongest of all of us. That's for sure.
He's definitely the strongest and tallest.
I did one.
Oh, I don't know. Devin made him a run for his money as far as height.
That's a fair point. No, I decided to do one push-up with Andy Ferris at NAMM, and just as a joke. And then
were done.
Jesse was like, I'm going to do 50 of them. And I was like, damn. He's also way handsomer than me. So it's just a lose-lose. No, thanks for dropping in, dude. And no, we're not bringing this to NAMM, ever. Kai says, Evergreen is awesome. Handles classic rock and Gojira-esque metal brilliantly. Yeah, that like clear high gain sound is very good at that.
You know what we can do? We can bring the capture of that with us.
We can do that.
We can upload it to the cloud and then put it on the Nano Cortexes we're going to have in the booth.
Yep, we are going to have Nano Cortexes in the booth at NAMM this year, as we did last year if you were around or if you were at Guitar Summit. We have a double Nano Cortex rig where we put some of our captures in. It's fun. So we'll have that at NAMM. So we will have a capture of the angle there, sort of. Well, we will have a capture. We will have the amp there with us, sort of, which is pretty sick. Tyler says the Facebook group typed up the evergreens, so I'm pretty excited to try them. Yeah, the Facebook group is not a healthy place if you don't want to spend money, but it's a healthy place to learn cool things about Balaguer and hang out with cool people.
And what is the Facebook group?
The BGFBDG. Yes, the BGFBDG, the Balaguer Facebook discussion group. Got him. If you haven't joined it, you should. Look it up. It's awesome. Follow us on Instagram, too. We post all sorts of cool photos.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Do those things. It's fun. In the discussion group, it's mostly just chatting about spec and builds and stuff. Like, it's a real chill thing. It's not like a lot of other forums where you feel the need to
defend yourself.
So, yeah, come join us. It's a great hang. And if you don't want to do that, like I said earlier, you can always email us info@balaguerguitars.com.
Yeah.
We're always happy to answer questions and stuff like that. Let's see.
Probably do some housekeeping at some point.
John Brown says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get there." Which version of the Engel Invader did you guys have?
100.
The 100.
Yeah, the old one.
The old 100. Yeah, and it was like the best way I can describe it is metallic sounding. Like it just had this presence that was like a mastered. Just it sounded sick in the room, like tight and gainy, but without being over the top.
It was a tough amp to capture. I remember
it was. We did like 6 different captures because it was very finicky. But man, it sounded good when you got it in.
Mm-hmm.
Kai says, any news on the Birmingham show? I don't think we're going to be there this year.
No,
is the honest answer. As much as we would love to be, maybe we'll come for fun. We'll crash with you.
Kind of picking and choosing where we travel this year.
Yeah, we have a couple of expensive trips to make this year that are unrelated to trade shows that that have sort of tightened our travel budget a little bit.
Yeah.
So we may yet come to the UK at some point this year, England land specifically, but I don't think it will be for the Birmingham show. Womp womp. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm bringing a torrent with me to jam at the Airbnb. Oh yeah, what's up, Jordan?
Nice.
Please do. I know Jesse has his torrent and he's really freaking digging it.
That's right.
So yeah, always down to hang. Stay in touch, by the way, for the show. We should get together. Anthony says, Joe, you need to get yourself a Ground Zero modded Marshall.
I've seen that dude's stuff, Jeremy, Ground Zero guy. Yeah. It's awesome stuff. I mean, like
Well, you had a skeleton key.
Yeah. So I love the stuff that Shay does with Monomyth amplification. Shout out to him. And that's kind of what led me to doing a modded Marshall type of thing on a unnamed amp in the corner over here. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's all there's so many similarities across all those amps that I try and be good about that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I'll have every modded Marshall ever.
John Brown says, sounds tight, it feels loose, nails the VH4 experience. In the room, it sometimes feels off to me, but records so well at the same time. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
100%. So speaking of NAMM, and we have a bunch of awesome questions to get to. I'm not forgetting anybody, but speaking of NAMM and sort of everything, some things that we're going to have either at NAMM or we'll talk more about at NAMM are things that we've recently released. So we had a couple of announcements recently. Of course, we got the 10th anniversary models completed, which if you'll have seen them, those have shipped out at this point.
Yep.
We're on the last bit of them going to dealers and a couple of other things, but those are out the door. We also announced the Woodman BB, the 10th anniversary, because Bo Burchell has been with us for 10 years, which is wild. Dude is so just
awesome.
Just an awesome dude, and he's loyal in like the most honest, cool way. And yeah, super sick. There's a vintage white version, and then there's the rustic black version. A couple of specs have changed, some binding and some inlays and some things that are different from his previous iterations. big announcement is it has his new signature Mojo Tone pickups in it,
Yeah.
the Elephas set, which is like, if you've played Mojo Tone pickups, they're higher output stuff. They just have like, I mean, they're just powerful as all hell.
They have
They're,
mojo.
Got them. And tone.
Yeah.
But his signature set absolutely rips. Those
Yeah.
are available for pre-order now. To be complete, let's say springtime this year.
Yeah, 25.5-inch
early
scale,
summer.
which is different from the previous iteration we
Yeah.
did.
Couple spec changes.
And like Jake said, rustic black has a comeback, but now we're doing gloss vintage white as well. And yeah, cream binding, lumen inlay side dots, white perloid blocks.
Check it out on the website.
That's right.
They're available for pre-order. Sorry, spoke with Trust Rod. They're available for pre-order, also with a deposit, so you don't have to shell out the full amount.
Yep.
Other cool thing we announced right before the Woodman or after. That's what happens post holidays. You don't know what happened. Kyle Bull, content creator extraordinaire, friend of Balaguer, has no hair but looks really great when he's surfing on air. Just an all-around rad dude. Kyle and the team, but really Joe. Kyle and Joe worked together to put together a Typhon for him, and it is, you know, he jokingly calls it a signature guitar. Like it's not a signature, but it's basically a signature. It's a rustic black Typhon with a single bridge pickup, our Trueno Bucker, a kill switch, and a single volume, 24 to 3/4 inch scale.
Yep.
Just an absolute machine that we've called the belligerent Typhon. You can order that as well. It is on the website.
Yeah, we released that right before the Woodman BB.
Yes.
Got a decent amount of pre-orders. It is a limited run though.
Yes.
And it's a collaborative run with Kyle. So we may do more runs in the future, but it's we're unsure if the specs will change or if you know, the price will change or anything like that. So as it is now, it is a limited thing. So
get them before they're gone.
Yeah, which we also take deposits on those as well.
Yes. True.
So check it out.
It also looks like we may have, because we always keep some small number of each run for B stock in case something gets damaged in transit or something like that. We may have a couple of 10th anniversary guitars show up as B stock, or as available that we didn't need B stock for.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that. If you missed something post NAMM, we may post some things. We're not making any promises, but just a heads up in case you did miss anything.
Yeah.
But there are still Woodman BBs and belligerent Typhons available that you can order.
Yeah.
And they're both sick. Anthony says, I'm going to say, I don't know if it's the Engel or the Dualis pickups. Yeah, they both. I mean, the Dualis pickups, I think they're super rad because they don't, carrying on the tradition of all of our pickups not sounding like other pickups, either other pickups we make or other pickups other people make. The Dualis has a very unique voice. The ceramic magnet paired with the Alnico magnet is very like, you get the clarity and tightness of like an Alnico 5, but you also have like this bite of like the ceramic magnet, but the whole thing comes together in like a really warm way.
Yeah, they clean up well as well.
Yeah, and they're designed where like when you split them, it splits to the Alnico 5 coil, so like the split sounds are super pleasing. You want to give them some clean tones?
Yeah, why not?
Roll off tones? Let's do it. No, it sounds super sick. It really does have a nice, it's just a very complementary sound. So yes, they do go well together. Jesse says you want my Prometheus. We're not going to get into that. Jordan says, Jesse, how's your torrent? Oh yeah, talking about a torrent. It is super sick. Jesse says, I feel like the Rev G50 is probably the ultimate Swiss Army knife amp that actually rips and does a lot of things really, really well. That's true.
Yeah.
I do think that my second choice to this angle, and truthfully, it would be the Rev. Of all the amps that claim to do everything, they're like two of the only brands that to me have ever really nailed it. Now, that doesn't mean the other ones are bad, because I think they focus on something intentionally. Like, it's not like people are doing it wrong. I just think these work for me in my ear. However, what I will say, and I'm sure some people can predict this, if that's what you're going for, just get a Quad Cortex. Like, to me,
different horses for different courses.
If you want all of the sounds and you want all of the sounds,
yeah,
that's the way to do it, in my opinion. Now, that being said, if I was only running 1 amp or a 2 amp setup, or if I had that sort of ability, I would take the amps, because amps rule. And I do think that specifically preamps interact with power amps in a certain way. Like, all that stuff adds up. I would say go with the real deal. The real deal. That's not meant to be an insult. I would say go with the real deal.
Yeah.
Play authentic if you can. But if you're looking for things like we were talking about earlier, like being able to play those tones at a reasonable volume, record into your computer, have multiple amps set up on the same sound, to me, the QC and or other digital products that do similar things are unbeatable. By the way, none of this is sponsored by anyone. Just to be perfectly clear, especially with the heat people have been getting.
Sponsored by Jacob Trowbridge.
Yeah, sponsored by me. I'm playing a Quad Cortex. I'm wearing a Neural hoodie. I've got a Neural Dilt. Oh, wait, what? Anyway, it's definitely, none of this is sponsored. We just love these companies. We love these people. We love these tones. It's none of that crap. So
true.
If you ask us if it's sponsored, I'll ban you from Panera. Ken says headroom. That's what you almost got me. Sorry, I had to say it, and then you died. That would be sick. Afternoon, fellas. Mr. Fast Red Pony Car himself.
Hey, how's it going, dude?
How's it going, Drew? Who also has a thing that I'm not going to talk about, but it's super cool. Almost jumped the gun there. Best group hands down. Thank you, man. Medina is probably the #1 poster. That might be true. Balaguer Guitars Discussion Group Edition, Founders Edition, Graham says. Damn, that's good. Balaguer Guitars Discussion Group Edition, Founders Edition, Special Edition.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
We should put that up. We need to partner up with Angle and do like a collab t-shirt. That's funny. Oh my God. We're going to talk to them about that while we're there. That's good.
They're going to what are you talking about?
Tyler says, just wanted to say thanks for bringing back the 12-inch radius. That was the final push in my decision to buy. Yeah, that's another one of our relatively new specs. I also love a 12-inch radius, so I am also excited about that. It was one of the specs that we got a lot of requests for.
I also want to drop a Just Wait GIF in the chat right now, because we have some other cool select custom editions coming in the next few months.
We do. Keep an eye out.
Stay tuned. Just wait.
Keep an eye out. Just
That's right.
We do seriously have some cool stuff planned for 2026. A bunch of which will be announced at NAMM.
Yep.
Some of which will be announced after. But there's some cool-ish on the horizon. Yes, Anthony, I believe that was your old skeleton key that Joe owned, but he can answer that.
Yes, and now Joe Cox owns it.
Oh, that's right. Ken says ordered the rustic black one, right, Jake? Yes, Ken, the rustic black one. Because Ken and I went to Human Robot, shout out to Human Robot, the best brewery in Pennsylvania, for their Christmas party. And we were talking about Ken wanting one of the Woodman BBs. And in my mind, I swore he was talking about the vintage white one. And then I sent him the invoice, which also said vintage white on it. And then he was like, in the Facebook group, like, yo, I ordered a rustic black one, sick. And I was like, uh-oh. And I texted Ken.
Nice.
I was like, yo, so. But luckily, your boy had his bag.
Jake was still drinking the Human Robot beer when he was sending the invoices.
Yeah, basically. No, I do not work while I drink. I only drink while I drink. But no, it was super cool. And Ken has one of the sickest Espadas we've ever built. Ken plays in the Man to the Machine. Shout out.
That's right.
killer band in the area, and he has a super. I forget it every time, that color.
Oxford Gray.
Oxford Gray.
Yeah.
And it's an HS. It's such a cool guitar, and it's just like a beautiful Espada.
Yeah.
But yeah, sounds sick. And looks sick too. I'm a big fan. Jordan says, "Oh, talking about the speaker combos. Haziel, yo, happy Friday, dude. I'm glad you jumped in the chat. I have good news and bad news. The good news is we can't wait to see you at NAMM. The bad news is, as much as we wanted to be able to give you your guitar in person there, I don't think we're going to make it. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, no. No, we're good.
Bless you.
Thank you. Satan blesses me. I don't think we'll be able to bring it. Sorry about that, dude. I've had your emails saved for months because I really wanted to make it happen, but we just kind of ran out of time.
Yeah.
But it will be ready for you shortly after, so.
Yep. Last
we
week of January.
appreciate the patience, and you are the man. So look forward to seeing you there too, dude. Drew says, Mark 7 is my favorite everything amp. Waiting for NAMM dust settled to get back with the guys at Rev to try the G50. Yeah, the Mark amps in general, specifically the JP2C for me, but that's a specific sound. If you're looking for versatility, to me, the Mark 7, it's the only Mark amp other than a legit old school Mark 1 that I haven't owned, and I want to. I've almost bought Kyle Bowles a handful of times when he was selling it because I really do want to spend some time with one. The only reason that I don't think it'll usurp a JP2C for me is that while you can do 2C plus and Mark IV, so you can get like a high gain and a lead sound, because to me the Mark IV is one of the better rhythm sounds, but I don't think its lead sounds are as good as some of the other Mark amps to me. The JP2C just has like the best of those sounds for me. And also having the 2 graphic EQs means I can do, when I switch to the lead channel, I can pull the bass treble down, boost the mids a little bit, and kind of tailor it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that you couldn't run an EQ in the effects loop of like a Mark 7 or something and basically do the exact same thing. But just throwing it out there. I would like to spend some time with it though. And you made it sound sick when you played the Seraph through it, so I can't be mad about that. Anthony says, hey, I love my amps, but having the Nano and Quad Cortex is a great tool. Coming from someone who much prefers sitting in front of a 412.
I feel that.
No, I mean, the truth is, even when we're playing QCs, we're playing them through 412s because of all the things that, of all the things that dramatically affect your tone. And I'm happy to say, shout out to John Brown, people who spend a lot of time, and John Simmons and Christian Cola, and people who are out there doing like the Lord's work of speaker cab work, is that like, you can play 10 amps to the same cab and they will sound way more similar than 10 cabs through using the same amp.
Right.
The cab and speaker combo side of things make an enormous difference in the sound.
Yeah.
And having that balance of like having the versatility of the QC, but running through a 412 and turning it up and getting the speakers pumping, to me is like the ultimate balance. Even if I do think the tube amp as a thing is just like the ultimate for me. You just have to be able to turn it up versus putting it in the QC where you can have it captured, turned up, but turn it down, still get the same tone at a lower volume.
For sure. Pros
and cons.
Yeah.
But all things that sound good are good, in the words of our Lord and Savior, Edward Van Halen. So, you know. Couldn't help it. Excuse me. Yeah, but good stuff. Tyler says, the big problem with modelers, I have a Helix, is while you can get them to sound exactly like the real amp, it takes a ton more work. A real amp I can just plug in and boom, done. That's true in a lot of cases. One of the reasons that I like the Quad Cortex over the other similar things is that I find it easier to dial in.
Yeah.
But yes, I do agree with you. And I think people get scoffed at for saying this, but it is true. The ability to just turn a knob and not have to menu dive or do anything like that is nice. No one wants to have to dive through menus to do anything to get a good sound. Now, once you get to the point where you're tweaking, you know, into infinity, you're building all these monster presets and stuff, you probably want that tweakability. So again, horses for courses.
Yeah.
It's just about the application.
I think the Helix sounds really great, but in my own experience, it took me way longer to find a perfect tone for me. Whereas comparing it to like a fractal unit, where a lot of their user presets, you can tell they spent way more time getting them to be really, play ready, whether you're playing live or in the studio or at home or whatever.
Yeah. 100%.
And I feel like the Quad Cortex is kind of separate of those two units in a way that, like, if you have your favorite amp, you capture it and it's so close, almost exact, that to me, that's just the world I want to live in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to say it, with all these amazing amps behind us. I sold my JP2C when I captured it 8 billion times because I didn't see the point in owning it.
He really does have 8 billion captures of it.
Yeah, because it is the best amp ever, in my opinion.
It's just 20 pages of JP2C captures.
It is. It's like channel 1 this, channel 1 that. It's like at least 10 captures of each channel. Yeah. Anyway, the moral of the story is I want to buy one again. The moral of the story is own the things that you love the most if you can afford to. Yeah. And have the real deal because they are special and it is cool. And the people who build them should get the cred, and all of that stuff is true.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're going to disparage something that can distill that into a more usable format and a more versatile format, then I think you're missing the mark, in my opinion, because what you can do with this stuff is amazing, and it doesn't have to be an either or. You can have both.
Yeah. Whether
you're running them at the same time or not, like Rabia style, a lot of people run them that way. Ken runs his that way. You can do it that way or not. Doesn't matter. But anyway, they're sick. Gotta bounce. Need to film a video featuring my sick new 10th anniversary Spada. Hell yeah. Later, John. Good talking to you, dude.
See you, dude.
Drew says it's the built-in load box and DI out with IRs for playing live. We play several no cab venues. Yeah, and that's a great point. A lot of that stuff is like they don't want stage sound anymore. Yeah. So being able to run a DI out, whether it's from the amp or from a digital modeler, why not? And if you can have both, even better. Have two signals run out, run live stage sound, and then just XLR out in front of house.
Yep.
Whatever you want. That's the setup I use. That's what a lot of people use.
A lot of bands we work with are now on the QC train, and they're doing exactly that. They're going front of house, and then another XLR is going out to a power amp that goes into a 4x12 on stage.
Yep. Power amping your QC through a cab is a no-brainer. True. Too good. What's the average turnaround time for a custom build? Nat. Love the online builder. Thanks. Shout out. Thanks, man. It's
around 8 months right now.
Yeah. I would say 7 to 8 months on average. Might be a little faster. Might be closer to 6. Might be a little longer, depending on your spec. If you do a neck through, multi-scale, Evertune, crazy custom finish, 8-string, like if you do all of that stuff, it does add time to your build because it just takes longer to do. But yeah, I would say 7 to 8 months. And thanks for the kind words. The builder is super sick. We worked really hard on it, and we're working to improve it always, but some big improvements now for things that people have asked for a long time.
Coming later this year.
Yeah, so keep your eyes, ears, and mouth peeled. Kenny says, I have multiple scenes where I use the same amp block but tweak the amp differently in each since I use the Plenty X lead amp for all my stuff now. Yep, that's the way to do it. Tyler says, but being in a cover band, you really can't beat a modeler. It's true. It's true. I wish I had this. I gigged a Helix, the full-size not HT, what's the floor? I gigged the Helix floor for about a year in California with a cover band, and it ruled. I ended up building a pedal board and switching to an Ubershaw because I just liked that. And then I switched to the JP2C because I liked that even more.
Well, then you got a 2C Plus after the Ubershaw.
That's true.
And it all went downhill from there.
That was actually, shout out to Medina and Joe for ruining my life. I bought a
That was the gateway.
Yeah, I bought a VHT Deliverance because it was a dream amp of mine from Medina at Joe's prodding, and it just never stopped. From that moment on, it was like I just had to have the amp that I wanted the most. And I'm happy to say I've ticked off almost every amp from my wish list, and most of them lived up to the hype. I mean, they're great amps. They just all do different things.
Yep.
But yes, I did own a legit 2C Plus, and it was super legit. We both have owned multiple, and they're insane.
Yep.
But yeah, so many good amps out there, and it's so fun.
Oh yeah.
So happy gear hunting to everybody.
Want to play some tones?
Yeah, I think we should probably look at wrapping up. It's about that time.
Yep.
Quick catch up on a lightning round, whatever's here, and then and then we're gonna hit a couple catch up notes, and then we're gonna jam a bit, and then we're gonna head out. So, thank you everyone for spending your time with us.
Yes.
Friday live streams are a super fun thing for us. We do them every other Friday here. So not next week, but the following week will be the next one once we're back from NAMM.
That's right.
2:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time.
Yes.
We are in the Eastern U.S.
Philly time.
Philly time, baby. Where you got to have your water. And
that's right.
We again thank everyone for hanging out. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Happy Friday. Be good. Be safe. And we will talk to everyone soon. I'm gonna rapid fire some notes. We're gonna jam, and then we're gonna get out of here.
That's good.
Kai says, "Can't wait to hear the SEFE in your Creed cover band." Thank you.
That's right.
We'll get there for sure.
With tone wide open.
And yes, you're right, Anthony. I did also buy the Uber Ultra from you. You've been my amp dealer for a minute now. And Kenny says it's almost game time. Yes, we'll talk about that some more later too. But time to jam. Have a good weekend, everybody. And we
have a good weekend.
Talk.
Come hang at NAMM.
Come hang at NAMM if you're going to be there.
Booth 5330.
Yes, I was going to switch, but I'm worried my volumes aren't going to align. So I'm just going to play. I'm going to play the capture of the angle just so we're matching. Because that's fun. Excited to see the new announcements? Hell yeah. We are excited to make them.
That's right.
See y'all soon.